You know what I think is a crazy, super unrelated, but you brought up bums and crack, so I started thinking, you know what I think is the biggest PSYOP? I was thinking about this the other day. I think one of the biggest PSYOPs and how they keep black people down in America is marijuana and the view of cocaine as well. So let me paint
cocaine
this picture.
Versus crack?
No. Cocaine and marijuana are the two specific ones I talk about. Because I was listening to rap music the other day, and a rapper was like, rappers always shit on cocaine. They're always talking shit about cocaine. How they won't do it is like, but they'll always rap about like smoking weed.
Okay.
I smoked some tree. Oh, smoking a blunt. They always talk about smoking a blunt or some shit, right? So when you look at like the black community, because of rap music, they're always talking about weed. That's the biggest thing. What does weed do? It makes you lazy. Makes you a bum. Makes you non-productive.
Yeah, because there's a small percentage of those, and I always say small because I look at it the same way, where people always say, and this is just slight tangent, but we're gonna go circle back real quick. But people will say, well, it's not one of those drugs that you get addicted to. I say bullshit, because if you're somebody who can't function unless you have to smoke. Oh, well, I'm going to this party. All right, cool, let me spark up. All right, cool, we're going to this event. Let me spark up. Oh, well, I got to go and do this work. Let me spark up. You can't, you can get addicted to anything. My biggest issue that I have with it is there's a dependency on it, and then the advertisement of all of it, because now that you can profit from, before, if you're somebody who was selling behind closed doors, granted you would rap, hey, you're actively selling, but it's relatively illegal. Now that you can profit and the government now gets a piece of it, you don't think they're pushing the influence?
For sure.
Like, what do you think these, production companies and all this other stuff and these music labels, why do you think they're pushing it?
Too, so circling back around that, so they're all big on like marijuana, but a ton of rappers will like say cocaine is bad. Okay? Now, this is where I'm going with this, because I was thinking about this. Why the fuck do all the rich New York finance brokers, they all fucking love cocaine? Literally every single, like, you go to Wall Street, cocaine in every office. All the fucking rich people, they like these cocaines. You go to fraternity houses where I have all these prestigious people. It's all fucking cocaine. You go to the White House, Hunter Biden, he's doing cocaine.
Cokeheads. Yeah.
So my point is this. Why do they give all the little white boys this drug that makes them productive and gives them energy and has them like on their Zoom, and then like the black kids, they're like, oh, smoke weed is cool, don't do cocaine? Because now I hear rappers and they're like pretty much pushing the message of like cocaine is bad. Like Drake has a bar, is like, I be hanging with some hoes, hey, you be playing with your nose, like as in doing cocaine. So he's making it seem like doing coke is bad, but Drake also promotes like weed smoking,
Right. So, and hell, I've even heard like
I'm not promoting any drug at all. I'm not saying like do coke or weed, but I'm saying like, if you have to do one, why won't you do the one that makes you productive and like makes you go faster versus the one that's gonna slow you down? Yeah,
it's like lean. Make you lazy. Back in like the late 2000s with lean, and all that other stuff, where people were just like, all right, well, I'll just mix the scissor, all this other stuff. And it's a high level of degeneracy. And the biggest issue that I have with like, because hip hop was an art form, it still is when done in its purest. Because I don't really listen to music, period, like that. Like you're a psychopath. You're a sociopath. I don't really listen to music like that. Like I'll listen to it, but I don't go out of my way. Like in a day, I must hear something. Someone puts music on in the house, he's like, turn that shit off right now. I like silence. Well, I mean, I could listen to instrumentals or things like that, but then for lyrics, I don't really care too much about it. Like I got to listen to music, even that. But overall, my biggest issue with it is like, you have to recognize their marketing in the music as well. Why is it very consistent that primarily, of course, across all genres, there's a level of degeneracy, but hip hop predominantly in rap is degeneracy. And me knowing that rap is primarily a black, musical art form, why is it that this is what's always pushed at the forefront? Like when Sexy Red came out, I understand if it's something you want to twerk to or something that you want to listen to. All right, cool. It could be something that's catchy. It's a foot tapper or whatever. But then now you start to see, all right, this is performed in schools. You have videos that's going viral of little girls that's listening to the music. They're reciting lyric after lyric. It comes to a point where you're like, yo, wait a minute. Why the fuck is this not only being endorsed, but promoted all of this other stuff. Like what's going on here when you recognize there's a problem? It seems like it's all entertainment on the front end until that becomes the standard. It's all messaging. It's all, it's all marketing. So with that being the case, for me, I look at it like, yo, y'all got to realize y'all getting PSYOP. You're getting, caught in the illusion. It's the genjutsu. You're in a situation where you're looking at it like, oh, well, this is no big deal, until it becomes a big deal.
Because now people aren't aspiring to do stuff like that. They're aspiring to be
complete degenerate, all this other stuff. Like if you look at like modesty has now become well, you're a slave. Well,
there's a thing like Future. Future doesn't actually do drugs, but he raps about drugs.
And you can make money. So it's like there's crazy, bro. Nobody has the integrity because now you're willing to be bought. Yo, I'm gonna rap about lean. I've never done lean, but like, listen, if I rap about this, they're gonna fuck with this. And then here's the thing, like, let's just say a Future went out of his way to say, yo, I'm gonna rap about this only to make the money, but guess what? I don't do it myself. I don't think you should either. Yeah. But he constantly reinforces that because there's people who are like diehard fans who will hear the interviews where he'll be like, yeah, I actually don't do it. Like, oh, you're only doing this to make money. Cool. The NPC or the casual listener is like, yo, this shit is dope. Yo, maybe I need to go and try this, but you never heard said interview. Right. So if there's a way where you can just say, all right, yo, understand, I'm only doing this to go and make money, but I don't actually want you to do this. You can kind of buy your integrity back, although that you're partaking in it. The best way that you would be able to be pure is to just cold turkey go the opposite direction, but then you still have a living to be made. So that's kind of where you kind of got to be transparent. And it's hard too, because like I remember for the longest time they were making fun of J. Cole just because he was making like positive music, and they were like, J. Cole's boring. No one wants to listen to this boring ass J. Cole. I love J. Cole. I do too.
I think he has a great message. People hate on that. Like, it's weird to me, bro.
It's very bizarre because when you look at it, I guess it goes down to like hedonism. It's incredibly profitable. It's very entertaining, and it's easy to do. It's hard to be pure because there's nothing but, satanic and all this other stuff that's going on around you. And you look at it like, well, is it worth? Because look at the risk versus reward. If this is an incredibly enticing lifestyle, incredibly profitable, particular kind of lifestyle, why would I want to go to where I'm living a modest, pure kind of life that is void of all of that, where I'm not making as much money, not getting as much exposure, and it doesn't seem to be very fun? It seems like mundane, redundant, monotonous. So why would I want to go there? And I could always, and the thought process is always, well, down the line, I could always go, just be modest and all this stuff and change. But you don't recognize this has now become so ingrained in you, and you have a reputation, which people forget that exists. There's no way to undo what you have already done. You can't unfuck after you've been fucked.
You can't unfuck after you've been fucked.
You can't unfuck what you fucked. It's very incredibly difficult to do so. Right? So when that's the case, what are you going to do? But people they don't take a moment to stop and say, wait a minute, hold on now. What is going on here?